Hello. So this is part two of our spiritual talk. So in the last video, the part one, we talked about the definition of spirituality, and we defined that we are inside us. There is a soul which is infinite, which is eternal, which has lived for thousands and thousands of years. And spirituality is the connection of the personality that we chose in this lifetime to that being that is really us, that eternal, infinite being that is our soul. It is also important to know that our soul or my soul is already divine. There is nothing that we need to do to make it divine, because it is already divine. It was created divine. My soul was created divine. My soul is divine. I am a divine being, and I was created that way. There is nothing else I need to do. All I need to do is to connect my personality that I chose in this lifetime to that divine self, that God self, that divine self that is my soul. So the question would be, how then can you make that connection to your divine self, to your divine being, to your God self, or is also called your I am? It is important if you trace back to the history of creation of us, of mankind. Like I said, we were created divine, and over that was a long time ago. That was hundreds of thousands and even millions of years ago, and a lot has happened in between that has disconnected ourselves from that divine being. We have done a lot of incarnations on this planet. For example, on this planet Earth, I have lived on this planet for many lifetimes, probably hundreds of lifetimes. And a lot has happened that has disconnected humanity from their divinity. Much of it is multifactorial. This is the story that is in the Bible, as summarized in the Bible as the fall of Adam and Eve. But it's actually a long story with a lot of other things rather than the summary that is or the allegory that is just in the Bible. Over the thousands of years, humanity has disconnected from our divinity. Much of it was part of it was of our own making, but part of it was also some of things that are beyond our control. When we were created, like I said, we were created as God beings, as divine beings, and there are a lot of other things that were not in support of us being God beings, being divine beings, and that has caused a lot of deterioration to this dense state that we are in, a state that we are disconnected from our divine self. So there is a lot of damages that has happened to the circuits and the connections that are required for us to connect to this divine self, to the divine soul. So what can we do now? The good news is that now, at this juncture, we are in the time of what is called ascension period, or you could call it end time periods, or which means the good news about it is that there is a lot of support, there is a lot of help around us to help us to connect to our divinity. But the most important thing, the most important thing that you need to do is the consciousness, the realization that you need to do that. because you need to make a conscious effort. There is need to be seen that intention that you want to be helped to connect your divine self. You want to connect to your divine self. You have to make that intention. You have to make that move. Then there is things that you need to do. The beginning of it will be to make sure that your body, your DNA, your spiritual self is healed, is repaired from all these damages that has happened all these years. Yes, that's my daughter here. She just came to say hello. Say hello. So to be repaired from all these damages that has happened all these years, and then those seconds can be able to connect, to your divine self. To summarize, like I said, there is a need that conscious effort, and also to take actions to help repair and heal. Of which there is a lot of things that you can do. There is not just one thing that you can do to help you heal, and there is not one way of healing and connecting to your God self. But some of the things that are being mentioned and being strongly advised is the change in diet, for example. That's number one, because there is a realization that the foods that we eat, especially the processed, the refined foods, have got in themselves, some components that has been responsible, for damaging our original or our Adamic DNA, making it more difficult or even impossible to connect with our divine self. And some of it, there is an active participation to damage our DNA and our spiritual self that have been done by other agents, that are opposed to us connecting to our divine self. That's why you will hear some people talking about, the foods that you are eating, the pharmaceuticals that you are using are poisoned and so forth. There is a lot of truth in that. That's why it is important, the recommendation is to go on a more natural diet, which has not a lot of, added ingredients to eat, these artificial flavorings, or to try and clear your body and reduce, that damage, and try and reverse that damage that has happened to your original Adamic DNA. That is diet. And also to be careful of the some of the drugs or the pharmaceuticals that we are taking in. They are also not good for our spirituality, our Adamic DNA. And also there is a lot of things around us, that are causing damage. For example, the petrochemicals in our cars, the pollution to the atmospheres in the urban areas, and also the electromagnetic equipment that is around there emitting radiation. That is not good for our Adamic DNA or for our spiritual self. Other people talk of chakras, the alignment of the chakras in your body. It needs to be correctly aligned. You have your crown chakra here, you've got your third eye, you've got your throat chakra, you've got your heart chakra, you've got your pelvic chakra or your root chakra down here. They need to be aligned properly so that to enable these connections. You have heard of people talking about activation of the Kundalini. The Kundalini will need to activate for the full connection to be made. So the summary is that there is need for healing. Number one, there is need for active, conscious decision that you want to connect. Then number two, you need to start healing yourself, to start repairing yourself. And the most important thing, there is lots of help around. There is lots of support around for that. So I'll stop here for this part 2. It's already 10 minutes, but I'll stop here. Then we can continue the talk on what you need to do. How can you heal in the next chats? Thank you.